Hi, my name's Ian Clark. Welcome to part 2 of the CHA Vaughn video goaltending series. In part 1, we examined goaltending fundamentals. Now, we take a look at the advanced elements of the position. Considering that goaltending fundamentals represent the majority of a goaltender's activity, the first video is an excellent precursor to this analysis. This video will take a look at the key shot preparation component. In addition, we will examine advanced movement, positional, and tactical responses. To begin then, let's take a look at the shot preparation category.
A goalkeeper's activity leading into the first save of a shot sequence is key to success. This preparation includes ice awareness, identifying a pending attack, the type of attack and the positioning of defensive players, and non-puck-carrying offensive players. Initial positioning, the first selection of angle, depth, and body positioning based upon the goalie's ice awareness. Continuing positional adjustments. As the attack gets closer, the goaltender must place a greater emphasis on maintaining a tight angle and begin to finalize stance positioning. Play anticipation, based upon the positioning and angle of attack by offensive players and the level of defensive support. The goaltender should now seek to anticipate the puck carrier's play. Final positional adjustments. Having anticipated the play, the goalie can now make any final adjustments to angle, depth, and/or body positions, and may be required to optimize position. Read of shot release. As the goalie makes these final positional adjustments, they should be looking to identify the expected shot release. Many elements signify a commitment to shoot. Reading this paves the way for the final shot preparation element. Setting of position. With the shot release read, the goalie can quickly set position. Responding to a shot from a balanced and set position is always the goaltender's best option. Executing these skills in a proper fashion will lay the groundwork for a simple first save. Beyond first save success, another critical reason why this skill group is important relates to rebound control and recovery skills. The goaltender's preparation is key to save and post-save success. Our first drill is designed to give goalies an opportunity to place their head on a swivel without concern. The puck starts outside the blue line on the face-off dot. A pylon is placed on each side of the ice. The puck carrier will take a puck and swing around the near cone. Meanwhile, the second attacker must decide whether to drive around the other cone to the net or stay behind. If they drive, the goalie must identify the weak side attacker. This will give the goalie information that will determine the aggressiveness of depth selection. If the second attacker stays behind, after identifying this choice, the goalie will be able to strengthen depth on the puck carrier. A second ice awareness drill requires 3 attackers and a coach. Each player will have a puck and will begin to carry it around the zone. They can go wherever they like within the offensive zone. The goalie will be asked to follow one of the players. Each will be identified by a number. For example, the coach might say, follow player number 3. In this event, the goalie will use proper movement skills to follow this attacker throughout the zone. Then, the coach will call out one of the other 2 players. This player will then take 2 strides and shoot. To be successful, the goalie must learn to identify the other attackers throughout the drill. If not, the goalie will be unable to respond to the called shot. In an advanced context, movement revolves around a single overriding concept. A goaltender's positional game depends upon a center net or on-angle position. Indeed, angle is the only element which independently provides any net coverage. First, the goaltender's movement skill is what drives them into positional targets. Second, they must be combined to ensure that the angle of position is prioritized. The path that a goaltender takes to achieve a positional target, along with the combination of movements used along this path, are called the correct direction of movement. These directions of movement are essential to positional success. At this stage, it's important to recall that any optimal position is made up of angle, depth, and body position components. Since angle provides more net coverage than any other goaltending attribute, it's the priority. Prioritizing the order of positional ingredients is called the goalie's positional sequence. There are two positional sequencing rules of thumb. In one, the attack is forming, but the shot is not imminent. In the second, the attack has formed and the shot is imminent. In the first, non-imminent shot, since the shot is not coming immediately, the goaltender's positional sequence is 1. Depth, 2. Angle, 3. Body position. The reason the goaltender follows this sequence is for simplicity. The goaltender's prime objective is to attain an optimal position. Therefore, the quicker these are achieved, the more time the goaltender gains to fulfill shot preparation issues like ice awareness, play anticipation, and the final read of shot release. With depth achieved early, the goaltender only has angle and stance positioning to achieve. These two elements can always be achieved simultaneously, since the goalie movement is designed to maintain stance fundamentals. In short, with depth established early in the attack, the goaltender can move laterally in a stance to obtain the remainder of the desired position. When a shot is imminent, a goaltender's positional sequence changes. Why? Since time is limited, the goalie must prioritize those positional elements which will provide the greatest coverage benefits. In these cases, the goalie's sequence is 1. Angle, 2. Body position, 3. Depth. Notice that the depth is shifted from first to last. With the goaltender now prioritizing angle, the goalie quickly establishes the maximum amount of net coverage that time permits. If time still remains, then further body adjustments and then depth adjustments can be made. The key, however, is to ensure at least an on-angle position. To develop this type of positional strategy, we need to understand a goaltender's positional range. The positional range is defined as the area in which the vast majority of a goalie's positional targets are found. Knowing that the positional target lies within this range, the key becomes how a goaltender can best achieve it. The answer is to get as close to the unknown final target as possible. To do this, the goaltender selects a middle depth position. This is not the final depth position, but is a position in the middle of the range. For most goalies, it's simply the top of the crease. By establishing a position at the top of the crease, the goalie has established a strong first depth position. The goalie can now shift emphasis to remaining on angle and reading the attack. In short, through an early middle depth selection, the goaltender will either attain or be very close to attaining positional targets all of the time. When an attack like a rebound is expected and uncontrollable, the goaltender shifts to the other sequence: angle, body position, and then, if time permits, a depth gain. Since most imminent attacks are closer to the net, depth plays a diminished role. We know how strong a centered position is, and by emphasizing this positioning, the goaltender again moves close to optimal positioning with consistency. The most common imminent scenarios are rebounds, lateral feeds, and pass-outs from behind the net. The development of lateral game strategy can be easily integrated into most typical practice plans. The best drills from which to develop these positional strategies are standard rush situations. For example, 2-on-1s, 3-on-2s, 1-on-1s, and power play. Be sure to discuss with your goaltender that conscious thought is required during practice. They should aim to gain depth very quickly during full ice rushes, followed by an emphasis on angle and body. Conversely, during power play work, the angle becomes a priority.
Since imminent situations tend to be more dangerous, we will expand on a goaltender's movement game with specific emphasis on 3 directions of movement that follow the proper angle, body, and depth sequence.
In a pass-out situation, the goaltender must adjust from the post to face what is usually a one-time shot. When leaving the post, the goaltender should move quickly to a center net position because angle is the priority. This is achieved by moving laterally into the middle of the net. It's very important to have the head up to read the pending shot release. If the shot is coming as the goalie moves into the middle net position, the goalie must begin to quickly establish body position. If there's time, the goalie may choose to angle their movement outward to also gain depth. Naturally, this depth gain will further limit the amount of available net. When developing proper directions of movement, the goalie should first practice without pucks. This will ensure fluid and controlled movements without fear of a goal. Follow these repetitions with actual shooting drills. These two drills are identical. The only difference is that the first set does not include a shot, while the second one does. The goalie starts on a post. On the coach's go, the goalies will arc out to the near side. Notice the curvature of the move. It's this curvature that will maximize coverage immediately. After the save and rebound control, the goalie returns to the same post. This time on the coach's call, the goalie will move across the net into its center and then rotate outward towards the top of the crease on the far side. After completing a number of sets to each side, the goalie will then face the same drill, but with shots this time. As the goalie arcs out toward the near side position, the goalie must shift to a read of release mode. Since all shots are coming from the outside corridor, the goalie's body should play a significant role in handling these pucks. A lateral feed often involves the need to move from a side crease position to a middle crease or opposite side position. In these imminent shot cases, angle remains the priority. To gain angle quickly, the goaltender should take the quickest path to a center net position. In the side crease to middle position, the goalie must pivot and then drive laterally into an on-angle position. In the case of a side crease to opposite side move, the goaltender can't achieve this through a pure lateral movement. This is where the goaltender will use a combination of sculling movements to quickly gain a centered square position. This maneuver is called a step-back pivot. To execute a step-back pivot, the goalie should backwards C-cut to pull them back towards the center of the crease. As the backwards C-cut is completed, the goalie will use the other skate to rotate around using a forward C-cut. The combination of these moves will bring the goalie back into a center net position, and then rotation will square the goalie. Again, these drill sets are the same, one without pucks and one with pucks. In the first, the movement is from a side crease position to a middle crease position. Notice that the move includes a pivot, followed by a direct lateral move into the crease. It's this rapid move into the center net which builds the goalie's coverage. Following this lateral drive, the goalie's momentum should swing outward towards the top of the crease. In the corresponding shooting drill, the pucks are placed on the dots. One player will pass the puck out to the top of the slot. The receiving player will opt to one-time the shot or control the pass and then shoot. If it's a one-time shot, the goalie should be reading this and move directly into the middle of the net. If, however, the attacker first gains control of the pass, the goalie, with additional time, will swing outward towards the top of the crease. Alternate sides. The next drill set involves a side crease to side crease move. In this drill, the goalie will utilize a step-back pivot. Again, have the goalie execute a series of moves without shots. When ready, the goalie will set up facing a shooter on one of the dots. On the coach's go, the goalie will step-back pivot and face a shot from a shooter on the opposite dot. The shooter should alter the quickness of the release. At times, the shooter should wait for the goalie to not only get across, but also step out and set. Sometimes, however, the shooter should release the shot as the goalie is pivoting. This will help the goalie understand the power of a center net game.
We have spent a lot of time talking about proper orientation and how to achieve these positional targets. It's now time to examine advanced body positioning, save movement, and tactical responses.
A goaltender will either assume an up body position or a down body position. It should be noted that a goaltender's game, regardless of style, will involve an up component and a down component. Both of these categories must be developed. Likewise, goaltenders should understand that a positional game does not end with the up game, but is a continuous effort to maximize position relative to the net and the puck. This includes the down positional game. We will place our emphasis on maximizing the down position, beginning with the correct down attributes, and then discuss adjusting position while down. Before doing so, a down position also has a depth, angle, and body component. Therefore, in some ways, it's no different than the optimal up position. The goalie should seek to achieve all of these positional attributes at all times. The down body should possess the following vital ingredients: compactness, width, uprightness. Building a correct down position begins with the notion of compactness. This is because a puck should never penetrate through a goalie's down position. There are three regions in particular that the goalie should seek to seal: the thigh, arm to body, and pad stick to ice regions. By wide, we mean the width that the goaltender can generate without affecting compactness. Like the goalie's stance, chest-shoulder positioning is also important when down. Since a down position might expose the top portion of the net, the goalie must always seek to remain upright. This means keeping the chest up and square. When you combine a highly compact body unit with width and upright chest position, the goalie can cover an enormous area of net. It's due to these three requirements that the butterfly represents a powerful tactical approach. This down position possesses these three characteristics, and thus, when combined with the correct angle and depth selection, can significantly enhance a goaltender's coverage, but only when circumstances warrant. These drills are designed to familiarize the goaltender with proper down traits. By doing high repetitions on these concepts, the goalie will begin to develop strong down positions. The importance of a strong down position is twofold. First, when traffic is present, a correct body position will support the actual save with additional coverage. This maximizes the goalie's chance of stopping the puck despite complications like loss of vision or a deflection. A second benefit of a strong body position is that it paves the way for a rapid repositioning if required. This versatility to respond is essential. To begin, establish a correct body position. The coach should check and correct positioning in the three compact regions: width, height, and squareness of the chest. When adjustments are complete, the goalie should remain in this position. They need to feel the final position before moving on. Now have the goalie start in their stance, and on the coach's go, the goalie will execute a half butterfly to their glove side. Once down, they will hold the position. The coach will assess and correct the down position. Repeat to the opposite side. A final drill involves a pivot prior to a thrust to save. In this case, the goalie will start at the top of the crease. On the coach's go, the goalie will pivot and drive to save on their glove side. For the first set, the goalie will stay down and await adjustments. On the next call, the goalie will pivot, drive to the middle of the crease, and then angle outward to the original start position. Repeat to the blocker side. Additional repetitions should involve an immediate recovery. When down, should a goaltender always try to recover back to his feet? The quick answer is no. This isn't to say that in an ideal world, a goaltender wouldn't want to be in a stance to face each shot. Unfortunately, goaltenders find themselves in situations which do not fall into ideal categories. The reality of the game involves rebounds. Most rebounds are quick, second attacks in close proximity to the net. When a rebound has these characteristics, the goaltender is better served by staying down. This is due to total net coverage generated by close proximity, save compactness, and on-angle positioning. A down position has the exact same positional requirements as does the up position. The goaltender is still oriented by a combination of depth and angle upon which sits the body position. Now let's examine how a goalkeeper can adjust the angle or depth components. These skills are key to the advanced goaltender's game. The adjustment of a goaltender's angle or the ability to move laterally while down can be achieved through a number of methods. Here we will examine the most common method utilizing the skate's inside edge. This gives further evidence to the power of the goalie's inside edges. The technical sequence which makes this possible involves gaining an inside edge grip with the drive leg. When a save is made to the glove side, for example, the puck will predictably redirect to this same side of the ice. However, to move the goalie's body position laterally in this direction, the goalie must gain an inside edge grip with the blocker side skate. Once this grip is achieved, the goalie can thrust to the down position laterally into a new on-angle position. This can be achieved without ever exposing the lower portion of the net. Following a lateral thrust, The goaltender should seek to regain save compactness by drawing the thigh of the drive leg quickly back into the lead leg. As the goalie regains compactness in their new position, full net coverage will be regained. If a small angle adjustment is required, a goaltender may opt to shuffle with their knees into a new on-ankle position. This is a less dramatic method of regaining angle. In the first, pucks are placed in the high slot and on 2 face-off dots. To begin, the slot shooter will fire a low, half-speed shot to the goalie's glove side. Meanwhile, a second attacker will have placed a puck about 4 feet from the top of the crease, in line with the face-off dot. As the slot attacker releases the shot, the second attacker will approach and fire the second puck. The goalie must execute a controlled first save, and then immediately drive laterally while down into an on-ankle position to face the second shot. Repeat to the blocker side. After doing sets with the start shot coming from the slot, reverse the drill with the initial shot coming from the face-off dot and a second shot coming from the slot attacker. Another excellent drill to develop the advanced area of your game involves a series of pucks placed randomly outside the crease. In this case, the goalie will start down, square to the first puck. The shooter will sequentially fire each shot. Notice that the pucks are staggered. In other words, the first one is tight to the crease, the second one is further out, the next one is tight once again, and so on. This ensures that the goalie has enough time to respond with both angle and body adjustments. Like angle, depth can also be adjusted when down on the ice. The distance between the goalie's body position and the puck's position is referred to as proximity. The goalkeeper should seek to gain strong proximity at all times. Put another way, the goalie should seek to close the gap on the shot release. Again, using the rebound scenario as an example, the goalie can be down, on the ice, and on angle. However, the puck has jumped out and a second shot is imminent. Not only may time not permit a full recovery, but a full recovery will only expose additional net. Therefore, the goalie may seek to challenge the shooter or improve proximity while down. Again, inside edges propel these adjustments. In the case of outward adjustment, the goalie will pivot their skate back and behind them. It will then be a thrust or C-cut maneuver which will push them outward. In short, the goaltender, whether on their feet or down on the ice, should seek to optimize position. The goalkeeper who can accomplish this consistently will have the greatest success. In the first drill, we will isolate a correct proximity or depth adjustment while down. The pucks are placed approximately 15 feet from the top of the crease. A single puck is moved halfway to the net. The shooter backs up to the pile of pucks. The goalie starts just inside the top of the crease in the down position. On the coach's go, the goalie and the shooter will converge on the puck. The goalie adjusts outward, and the shooter approaches and releases the shot. Notice the goalie's start position involves an extended leg towards the far side. Repeat to both sides. The next drill will simulate an accelerated wraparound followed by a second shot. The attacker starts on the face-off dot. Picking up a puck, the attacker accelerates behind the net and wraps the puck on the far side. For the purpose of this drill, the goalie will use a paddle tactic to respond to the wrap. As soon as the attacker has completed the wrap, they will quickly grab a second puck approximately 5 feet from the top of the crease and release a second shot at the net. The goalie, after making the first stop, must square up to the new puck and adjust outward to enhance net coverage. With an examination of fundamentals and advanced positioning complete, we are now ready to explore goaltending tactics. It's here that we will assess the butterfly and paddle down approaches. They are defined as blocking tactics. Following these analysis, we will examine game tactics. Game tactics, as opposed to blocking tactics, are responses to specific attacks like screens, deflections, and so on. Blocking tactics can be used when specific attack dynamics are present. Specifically, there are 3 characteristics, one of which must be present before a blocking tactic should be selected. They are 1. The puck is in close proximity to the net, and or 2. The goaltender has limited time to react, and or 3. The goaltender is unsure of the puck's trajectory. Use of the paddle is a logical move. First, let's look at the characteristics of the body position. It is wide, it is compact, and if executed properly can be a relatively upright position. In particular, the paddle tactic provides the goalie with an outstanding on-ice coverage. When positioned with correct angle and depth, the paddle coverage can easily span the full width of the net. Since the stick is involved, the paddle approach also has a strong puck control benefit. When executed properly, the paddle will tend to retain possession of the puck. If the goaltender wants the puck cleared from the front, the paddle can easily be angled to achieve this objective. However, use of the paddle is not as compact a move as the butterfly. Therefore, while it has wider coverage, it can be susceptible to a high shot, and the odd puck might penetrate through the goalie's legs. Specifically, the paddle approach is highly effective when used to repel wraparounds, tight rebounds, tight deflections, mid-zone screens, and tight lateral feeds. Let us be very clear at this stage that the butterfly is not a style, but rather a blocking tactic. Goaltenders who use blocking tactics excessively will be exploited. This exploitation will occur due to premature dropping and to poor rebound control. In time, most butterfly goalies recognize the power and limitations of this move. They learn to maximize its powerful features, while at the same time avoiding its inherent weaknesses. Why is the butterfly so popular and powerful? It provides more net coverage than any other body position. In terms of the body traits referred to earlier, it is totally compact. It is wide and maintains a strong upright position. In particular, the butterfly is highly effective when the goalie is on angle, has selected an appropriate depth, and the puck is released tight to the net. The reason this is a logical use of the butterfly position is that it can cover 100% of the net. It is here that we need to understand the blocking and reactive regions of the ice. The blocking region is an area in which the goaltender, with proper angle and depth, can cover 100% or near 100% of the net. The reactive zone is the region on the ice in which the goalie can react specifically to the puck. The gap between these two areas is called the quickness differential. A goalkeeper who trains to eliminate the quickness differential, who understands when they can react and when they ought to block, will be highly successful. To summarize, anytime a shot release is read within the blocking region, the goaltender can use a blocking move. Anytime the puck is in the reactive zone, not only should the goalie react, but they will have much greater rebound control from this reactive response. On the longer shots from the reactive zone, the save should be made with relative ease, and therefore puck control becomes the goalie's priority. Since blocking tactics are in most cases a portion of a broader game tactic, we will provide a single drill for each. Keep in mind that there will be further drills supplied when going through our game tactic analysis, which is coming up. To practice a paddle position, use 2 goalies. The first will stand in front of the second with legs apart. The active goalie will establish a position at the top of the crease. Pucks are placed in the middle of the ice at the point. On the coach's go, the goalie will drop from a stance position into a centered paddle down position. The shooter will release a shot through the screener's legs. The goalie should practice retaining control using a firm, gapped, and square paddled position. In addition, the goalie should attempt to rotate some of the pucks to the corner. To practice butterfly positioning, place the pucks at the bottom of the circles. The goaltender will face one attacker, and on the coach's go, will step back pivot to gain a center position and move out on the opposite side. As the goalie sets their body position, the shooter will fire. Since the goalie has good proximity to the shot, a correct angle and depth, a butterfly approach is a logical move to not only create 100% net coverage, but to also control the shot.
Let's now take a look at game tactics. During this examination, we will refer to blocking approaches as a potential part of a goaltender's response.
point attacks include deflection and screen situations. These two groups can be further subdivided into those cases where the traffic exists in the mid-zone and those cases in which the complications exist close to the net. This separation is important to the goalie's ability to counteract the attack. The key to strong deflection success is to identify the threat of a deflection. In both the tight and mid-zone categories, you will see reference to the ice awareness required to identify the deflection threat. In the case of a tight deflection, the following is the tactical response. 1. Establish initial depth. 2. Ice awareness to identify the potential for a deflection. 3. Adjustment of depth, forward or backward, to ensure the save is made in close proximity to the redirection. 4. Body rotation and square save to the puck's new angle of access. 5. The stick and pad are the most common save responses. 6. The paddle and butterfly approaches are strong choices here, since all three blocking tactic prerequisites are involved in a tight deflection. In the case of a mid-zone deflection, the following is the tactical response. 1. Establish initial depth. 2. Ice awareness to identify the potential for a deflection. 3. Adjustment of depth outward but not excessively. 4. As the puck is released, the goalie should seek to shift slightly toward the puck's trajectory. This ensures that if a deflection is made, the goalie will already be moving into a more relevant angle position. 5. Body to be in a highly compact, wide, and upright form to maximize net coverage. 6. Strong visual contact with the puck to enable the goalie to respond outward if the puck does not come into their body coverage. 7. The butterfly is a superior blocking approach in this event due to the fact that the goalie is unsure of the final puck trajectory until the last moment, and it provides the greatest amount of coverage. Note, for those goalies who lack width due to joint flexibility limitations, the paddle approach may be more appropriate. We will also separate our screen discussion into tight and mid-zone categories. The key on screens is to battle for visual identification of the puck trajectory. A screen suggests that the goalie is on angle and therefore does not require a lateral drive into the save, as in the deflection tactic. A tactical sequence during a tight screen includes 1. Establish initial depth. 2. As the screen moves into position, the goalie should adjust outward in behind the screen. Don't get too close to the point that a proper save response is impossible. 3. If vision is limited, use the glove to assist in establishing a sight line. 4. Once vision is established, seek to maintain this sight line. 5. Never move off the correct angle in order to gain vision. 6. On a tight screen, one should be able to gain vision. In this event, again, the stick and pads are the common save tools. 7. The paddle and butterfly approaches are again handy, since not only is vision limited, but the threat of a deflection further complicates the attack. The tactical sequence during a mid-zone screen includes 1. Establish initial depth. 2. As traffic forms, the goalie must seek to maintain visual contact with the puck. 3. If vision is lost and the goalie suspects a pending shot, the goalie may opt to go down. As an aside, this down procedure is logical since most point shots are directed low to the net. This is due to the shooter's desire to create a rebound or deflection complication. 4. If a down position is established, then a butterfly or paddle approach is useful. If the goalie has strong flexibility with the knee joints, then the butterfly may be sufficient. The paddle is also effective due to its extraordinary width. Keep in mind, when using the paddle during a mid-zone screen or deflection, to keep the chest high. 5. The real key to mid-zone screens is to never stop battling for the sight line. Even as the puck comes through the screen, the goalie should be picking up the puck in order to respond. Each of these drills can be used for deflections and screens. The only difference is the deflector will remain off to the side while the screener will actually move between the shooter and the goalie's line of sight. Pucks are placed in the corners. A point player establishes position by the boards. The attacker in the corner will bank the puck off the boards or glass, Once the puck is under control, the point player will drag the puck to the center of the ice. Meanwhile, the passer will now go to the slot for either a screen or deflection. When this player is in position, a low, hard shot can be released from the point player. A variation on this drill is to move the puck to a position inside the circle by the inside hash marks. In this event, a puck is passed out to the opposite side point. The passer now arcs into the slot. The point player will shoot the puck along the ice so that the player arcing into the mid-slot can deflect the puck. This same drill can be used with the arcing player establishing a screen in the mid-slot. In order for a goaltender to develop strong tactics with respect to attacks from behind the net, two fundamental skills must be established: proper post coverage and visual tracking skills. Correct post coverage provides the goalie with a strong, balanced position from which to begin. Notice the post coverage demonstrated on first the glove side and then the blocker side. It includes strong skate to post integration, heel of stick to toe of skate stick positioning on the glove side post, and heel of stick to side of pad positioning on the blocker side. A wrapped arm, skates parallel and apart along the goal line. Visual tracking skills are vital if the goalie is going to distinguish between a wraparound, walkout, or pass-out attack. The majority of visual tracking while the puck is behind the net includes the following traits: proper post position, establishing a lead gap, maintaining vision over the original side shoulder, maintaining a parallel position along the goal line, leading movement with the stick. Using this visual tracking method allows a goaltender to maintain vision on both the puck and carrier for as long as possible. Wraparounds are a unique attack since the puck cannot be raised. The puck will be on the ice. It's that simple. With this in mind, the goalie has a fairly simple coverage requirement: the ice. There are two categories of wraparounds: set and accelerated. Set wraparounds are defined by an offensive position established behind the net. Conversely, the accelerated wraparound involves a player starting on one side of the net, accelerating behind, and attempting to beat the goaltender to the far side. In the case of a set wraparound, the key is strong visual tracking of the puck and carrier. If the goalie has maintained strong visual contact and has not been forced into a panic state, the save should be made with ease. During these situations, the goalie can often repel the attack through proper post coverage. Presumably, defensive support is active in front of the net and penetration to the slot will be prevented. Therefore, the goalie should be able to seal access at the post through proper skate post integration and stick positioning. In the accelerated version of the wraparound, the attacker carries speed. It's this speed which signifies a commitment to the wraparound on the far side. Due to this speed and the possibility of a wider sweep during these cases, the goalie will probably find the paddle approach more effective. Wraparounds of any kind are prime candidates for the paddle tactic due to its massive on-ice coverage. Since the goalie is not sure of what on-ice trajectory the puck will take, the paddle can cover all of them. Paddle use on wraparounds is effective, but the situation must be read correctly. The following sequences demonstrate the proper application of the paddle to both the glove and blocker sides. Notice that since it's the blocker side knee which drops, regardless of side, that it's the skate which integrates on the glove side post and the side of the pad which integrates on the blocker side post. A further characteristic to point out is the paddle angle. Since the puck must cross the goal line before being directed at net from the outside angle, the goalie should approximate a square position at 45 degrees off the goal line. Pucks are placed on each dot and in the corners. The pucks in the corners will be used for set wraparounds, while the pucks on the dots are used for accelerated sets. The first attacker leaves from the corner and establishes a position behind the net. Meanwhile, the attacker on the dot will move to the slot as a passive defensive player. The wraparound attacker will hold on to the puck for a brief moment before faking to one side and wrapping quickly on the other side. In the next sequence, the attacker on the face-off dot will accelerate behind the net and wrap the puck on the far side. Repeat each of these sequences on the other side. To enhance paddle usage during wraparounds, pucks are placed behind the net and on either side above the crease. The attacker starts behind the net and wraps a puck on the goalie's blocker side. The goalie drops into a correct paddle down position. The attacker then spins around, takes a puck from the side crease pile, accelerates around the net, and wraps on the other side. Repeat in the opposite direction. Walkouts, like wraparounds, can be handled from a stand-up or down position. The key during a walkout attack is to be able to separate from the post and square up to the attack. Since most walkout shots are released from an outside angle, a stand-up response is the most common method of repelling the attack. In this event, the following tactical sequence is used. 1. Proper integration on the post. 2. As the attacker walks the puck across the goal line, the goalie must rotate off the post in order to square up to the attack. 3. Once square to the puck, the goalie uses the momentum of the rotation to move outward away from the post. 4. At this stage, the goalie can opt to adjust stance to a compact up position, or if the puck is in close proximity to the net, a butterfly will certainly deny the entire net. 5. The benefit of the butterfly is that it's more likely to control the rebound, since the puck will often come directly into the body for cradling. Like many attack categories, the depth of the attacker creates multiple categories. In the case of pass-outs, the distance the attacker is from the net determines the tactical sequence. On the one hand, a pass-out to the shallow slot is more dangerous due to the limited time and the proximity of the attack. On the other hand, due to its close proximity, the astute goalie can achieve 100% net coverage if positioned properly. The other factor which supports goaltending success during these shallow attacks is the predictability of the shooter's target, the far side. With these comments in mind, the tactical sequence is 1. Proper post position. 2. Ice awareness to identify the slot attacker. 3. Once pass is made, a direct move towards the center of the net. 4. Head swivels to read the pending shot release. 5. Depending on time, as the goalie reaches the center of the net, the move should be angled outward square to the point of release. 6. As the goalie angles outward, a compact body position should be sought. This body position could take either a paddle down form or a butterfly, half butterfly position. The primary difference between a shallow pass-out and a pass-out higher in the slot is the time available for the goaltender to prepare. In the deeper pass-out, clearly, additional time exists for the goaltender to optimize position. The tactical sequence for a mid-deep pass-out is 1. Proper post position. 2. Ice awareness to identify slot attackers. 3. Unwrapping of the arm. 4. As pass is made, a lateral drive towards the center of the net. 5. As the goalie approaches the midpoint of the net, the lateral momentum should be converted into a depth gain. 6. Throughout the positional adjustment, the goalkeeper should be seeking to read the pending shot release, and this will signify when the goalie should stop and set. 7. Generally speaking, the shooter will be positioned far enough from the net that the goalie should be able to react specifically to the shot as opposed to using a blocking maneuver. For pass-out development, start with a stationary drill. The puck should be placed behind the goal line and to the side of the net. The slot attacker should position in either the shallow or deep slot. Depending on this positioning, the goalie must respond appropriately. On the coach's go, the goalie will swivel their head to identify the slot threat. Once the head is back on the passer, the pass can be made. Do repetitions from each side and ensure that both the deep and shallow slot are addressed. In the second drill, the pucks start on the opposite hash mark and the slot attacker starts outside the blue line. The passer picks up a puck and moves into the corner. At this stage, a pass can be made to the attacker coming into the deep slot. As an alternative, the puck carrier can move in behind the net and curl in the opposite corner. This curl will give the goalie a further opportunity to assess the slot danger. After the curl, the slot attacker will be closer to the net and the pass is made. Mix up the depth of the slot attacker and alternate sides. Rebound control, albeit a powerful element within a goalie's game, can only be described as a developmental journey. The reason for this description is that strong rebound control is a combination of all goaltending skills. The following demonstrates the rebound control progression. 1. Skating. 2. Position-specific movement. 3. Optimization of proper position. 4. Correct save movement. And 5. Controlled puck. Notice that in order to consistently achieve the controlled puck, the goalie must first have outstanding skating skills, since they are a prerequisite to strong position-specific movement skills. Logic tells us that a correct position cannot be established without these excellent movement skills. With position attained, the goalie then must opt for a proper and controlled save movement. It is, of course, at this final stage, the save movement, when the rebound control success will be decided. But note that it's highly unlikely without the preceding steps fulfilled.
To conclude our analysis of advanced goaltending, it is important to re-emphasize fundamental development. The greatest input to advanced goaltending, and goaltending success for that matter, is goaltending fundamentals. Additionally, today's high-performance game requires a balanced development approach. Goaltending is now a blend of outstanding technical skill, strong psychological assets, and world-class athleticism. Only with these three broad inputs in hand can a goaltender maximize full potential. On behalf of the Canadian Hockey Association and Vaughn, we would like to wish you all the best in your goaltender development.